Hello, welcome to class this month, Around the World. Ooh, around the world. So different than around the clock. Around the world requires a tall back. It requires a twist. And it requires us to keep it all freaking together while we're doing it in both directions, which is difficult because we always have one side that's, being a side. So we're going to play with all of that here on your Wunda chair. And of course, in the rest of the studio, Tammy loves this theme and has it on the reformer. So first, one top, one bottom spring. If that's too heavy, you will do like a middle bottom. Okay, so I'm going to start sitting way back to the edge. You may need a sticky pad, especially if you have a tendency to push with your legs too much. So here we go. We're going to take your hands either by your side, especially since we're warming up, or you can hook your thumbs up overhead like we're getting ready for Around the World. And you're going to press the pedal away. And so we're here at the back edge of this chair. It does limit our range of motion, but I find it a little easier to get tall when I'm just warming up. 5 more. So this reach to the legs is the same reach you need in your short box. Go onto your arches, squeeze everything together. Sure, all our legs are pushing apart, but having this reach to the back of your legs is what makes it easy for you to open the front of your hip. That's this, right? When we're on our short box, and then onto your heels and down and up, down and up. Keeping your thumbs pushing apart, elbows wide, shoulders down. And then scoot to the front of your chair and then try all of that again. So arms up overhead. I'm going to hook my thumbs and reach. Ooh, it's a little harder to keep my pelvis stable here. I don't know about you, but we're going to work on it. 3, 2, 1, onto your heels. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I said heels, I meant arches. So if you did heels, then go to your arches. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pick your favorite position on your foot, arch, heel, or toe. Send one leg out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now that our legs are nice and warm, you can either lie on your short version of your chair. That's going to be harder, or the long version of your chair. Let's do the 100. Make sure that our whole body is ready to do this. Ready to do this whole workout together. Ankles hugging together. Collarbones are nice and wide. You're taking long inhales and long exhales. Last one. Come all the way up. Good. Okay. So I want us to go to one middle spring. We're going to work on our side sit-ups. Our side body strength is key. So one middle spring for us to start with. I want us to really see which side is staying long and which side is like, what? So you come down onto one hip, legs are long and stacked, and then hand is underneath your shoulder. All right. Some people flex here, especially if you have trouble keeping your legs together, or you can go to a wall and put your feet on a wall. If this is too low for you, always, if your pedal is too low, like and you're already hanging down, put a block underneath that. All right, arm up. And we're going to reach our arm up like we're pulling on a rope, and we go down. So we're not making a big motion here. In fact, the more I reach the arms, the longer I can get my spine. So we're not doing fish where we're actually trying to come up and crunching our side here. This is us getting super long in our side body. One more. Good. Other side. We're going to come back to that. So get ready. Here we are, other side. And, depending on what your weakness is, You might think, oh, but my right side is my strong side. Yes, but what happens when your left side is the weak side and it's supposed to be the one that's helping you lengthen and lift? Gets complicated, the asymmetries. Two more. So often when we do twists, like in Around the World, we sink, right? So I really want us to dive into having length in there. So now let's go onto your stomach for a little swan. The front of your hips is nice and open here. What we don't want is to already be an extension in this start position. So if you have anything that you can look and make sure that you're in some sort of flat back, I know I tend to start already in extension. So you spot it, you got it. Bend your elbows back 3 times. If you also are trying to get better at your push-ups, here you go. After 3, pull your heart forward and reach your arms back like a chest expansion. Again, come into a straight line, 3 pumps, and lift. And 3 pumps, and lift. Good. Okay, so we're not done there. So what I want you to do is take one hand towards the center of the pedal and one arm out to the side, 3 pumps, and then lift and get super long. Watch if you're twisting, 3 pumps, and lift. It's like I want you to have imaginary vision at your side body, and I want you to see if both sides are staying long or if you're twisting, right? We want to twist when we want to twist. And then 3 times. Don't worry, we'll do lots of twisting around here and some interesting around the world for sure. Or at least around the chairs. 3 pumps. Ooh, this is the side that wants to twist. So I have to actually reach my hand towards my wall and a little bit down to kind of unwind me. Ooh, okay. Go back to 2 hands. And what I want us to do, if you are not interested in doing this, you don't have to. It's a little bit bigger of a back bend. So if you're not warmed up enough or if you don't do swan dives, then you'll just go back to the swan, which is 3 pumps, and then the lift. Otherwise, we go into this lift together, and then we lift the legs, and then we lift the chest. And we lift the legs, and we lift the chest. And one more time, lift the legs, and lift the chest. Woo! All right. If you're like, Lesley, that felt really big. It doesn't have to be really big. It has to be really long. Okay, just like you're around the world. It doesn't have to be very big. It has to be really long. Okay, so going back to our sides. Side sit-up, sort of. So here we are stacked. Okay, so now what I want you to do is take this top hand and turn it towards the pedal. And depending on how tight you are, it might be fingertips. So that's where I am at. I'm at fingertips. I don't think I can... I want the hips to stay stacked. Cool. So I'm just going to start with my fingertips here and reach. So little swans, no pumps, just lift the chest. And with every one, try to slide that hand closer to being on the pedal. Ooh, almost. All right, other side. So if your pelvis is tipping, that's too much. I want the hips to stay still and just you to reach your top half around. I used to be, because I was so hypermobile, I used to be able to get both heels of my hands on the pedal and keep my hips stacked, but I wasn't connected. So top hand comes around, reaches, other side hand comes underneath your shoulder. So you're trying to get squared shoulders while keeping your hips stacked. So each one, I get a little longer. I get a little bit more room. There we go. Okay. We're going to come back to that. We're going to do some more stuff and see if warming up allows us to have any more range of motion in there. So let's turn. I'm going to turn my chair so that I can have a seat for a little side bend. So on your short box, you have round back, flat back, and then twist and reach. We'll get to some of those here today. But we also have side to side. So we're going to do a little side bend here. So take your legs, you're sitting on your chair, inside leg is crossed. Arm is up, other arm is reaching down. As you can see, my fingertips can touch, but that's not much else. So that's okay. My job is to go up and over, and if I can get any part of my hand to reach into that pedal and move that pedal down, great. But just the act of going up and over and pulling myself up is the exercise. And up and over, up and over. Oh, squeezing those legs together to ground the hip. And come back up. And again, up and over, up and over. Reach, 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 reach. Ooh. One more time. This is an annoyingly hard exercise. Squeeze everything tight and reach.